Welcome to the Aerial Lift Safety Certification Program. Section 1, Introduction to Aerial Lift Safety. What are aerial lifts? Any vehicle-mounted device used to elevate personnel. They're used in industries like utilities, construction, and tree service. This type of equipment includes aerial lifts, and they are often mounted on trucks. They're also known as cherry pickers. Why is aerial lift safety important? Aerial lifts can be hazardous. Aerial lifts are regulated by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. Tip for workers who work in aerial lifts or near them on the ground. Understand the hazards, the basic regulatory requirements, and the safety work practices that must be followed to prevent accidents and injuries. At the end of this course, you will be able to identify aerial lift hazards, describe OSHA equipment requirements, explain the process to inspect equipment, describe the necessary precautions to be undertaken when working in or near an aerial lift to prevent accidents and injuries. Dangers associated with aerial lifts. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, workers working with or around aerial lifts are exposed to 4 major types of risks. Death. 26 construction workers died each year from using aerial lifts, out of which approximately 70% of incidents involve boom-supported lifts, such as bucket trucks and cherry pickers. Falls. 50% of the falls from boom lifts happen when the worker is accidentally ejected from the bucket after being struck by vehicles, cranes, or crane loads, or by falling objects, or when a lift is suddenly jerked. Collapses and tip-overs. 2/3 of the deaths from collapses and tip-overs of boom lifts occurred when the bucket cable or boom broke or the bucket fell. Approximately 1/3 were due to tip-overs. Electrocutions. Over 1/3 of the electrocutions involved an overhead power line contacting the lift boom or bucket. Workers can also be caught in between the bucket edge and objects like roof joists or beams while repositioning the bucket. Regulations and industry standards applicable to aerial lift safety. There are multiple regulations and industry standards that are applicable to aerial lift safety. General Duty Clause. The General Duty Clause provides enforcement action where no specific OSHA regulations cover a particular hazard. Requirements from employers. Employers must furnish a place of employment free of recognized hazards that are causing or are likely to cause death or serious physical harm to employees. Employers must comply with occupational safety and health standards promulgated under the William Steeler Occupational Safety and Health Act of 1970. OSHA regulations specific to aerial lift safety are 29 CFR Safety and Health Standards, 1910 Industrial Safety, 1910.66 Powered Platforms for Building Maintenance, 1910.67 Vehicle-Mounted Elevating and Rotating Work Platforms, 1910.333 Selection and Use of Work Practices, 1926 Construction Safety, 1926.453 Aerial Lifts. Other regulations are ANSI A92.2 Vehicle-Mounted Work Platforms, NFPA 70-78 National Electrical Code, NFPA 70E Electrical Safety in Workplaces. Hazards associated with aerial lifts. Workers working with or around aerial lifts are exposed to 4 types of hazards. Falling out of the lift. One of the primary hazards of working in aerial lifts is falling out of the lift. Recommended, use fall protection devices such as personal fall arrest systems and ensure that guardrails are maintained in good working order. Tipping over the vehicle. Another serious hazard is tipping over the vehicle carrying the lift. Tip-overs can occur if the lift is overloaded or if the vehicle is not properly stabilized before use. Recommended, having prior knowledge about the load limits and knowledge on how to maintain stability of the vehicle to prevent tip-overs. Power lines. Overhead power lines are another very dangerous hazard for workers in aerial lifts. Workers coming in contact with power lines could result in electrocution. Recommended, do not work in close proximity to power lines. Only a certified professional worker is allowed to work on high-voltage electrical equipment. Falling objects. Falling objects also pose a serious hazard for those working on the ground near aerial lifts. Tools, materials, tree branches, or other heavy objects could fall on workers on the ground and cause injuries, particularly head injuries. Recommended, workers on the ground should always wear head protection.